Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of June 27, 2025. I'm your host, Sharifa Mohammed, MGT.
I'm Colonel AUC Ogintoya, an infantry officer. Moscow's week-long tempo couples deep strike interdiction with multi-axis ground pressure, forcing Kyiv to defend critical infrastructure while absorbing sustained frontline attrition. Liberation of Novosibirsk, Dilivka, and 4 southern towns tightens the ring around Ukrainian logistics arteries feeding the Donetsk sector, while gains near Kupiansk extend the buffer north of the Oskil River. Reported casualty ratios: over 9,000 Ukrainian losses across 6 fronts, signal an escalating depletion of Ukraine's trained manpower and a heavier reliance on territorials and National Guard units. Destruction of 17 EW stations and interception of JDAM/MR's rounds underscores Russia's priority on counter-ISR and counter-battery dominance, potentially widening windows for armor thrusts before autumn rains. Kyiv must stabilize Sumy and Kharkiv to prevent envelopment of eastern reserves and secure alternate supply corridors via Poltava or risk cascading frontline collapses.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, the podcast that brings you in-depth insights into military operations from those leading them on the ground. Today, we're joined by Colonel AUC Ogintoya, an infantry officer monitoring critical missions on the progress of the special military operation as of today. Colonel Ogintoya, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Can you start by explaining the significance of the long-range precision strikes reported this week, especially the use of the Kinsal system?
The most recent wave of strikes represents a strategic shift in our integrated fires doctrine. On the night of June 26th, we executed a long-range strike using Kinsal hypersonic aeroballistic missiles supported by UAVs, targeting key infrastructure within a Ukrainian military airfield network. These strikes weren't about single targets, they were about crippling the enemy's ability to sustain air operations in depth.
What else was hit?
Beyond that, between June 21st and 27th, we conducted 6 synchronized group strikes across multiple days. These targeted Ukraine's defense industrial base, logistics hubs, radar coverage, and drone manufacturing lines. We also hit airfields, temporary forward deployments, and key points supporting NATO-supplied logistics. The point of this campaign is strategic dislocation, preventing the enemy from regrouping, resupplying, or deploying advanced systems with confidence.
And how does that air campaign complement what's happening on the ground across your various groupings?
The strikes serve to suppress and delay. With airfields degraded and EW systems neutralized, our ground forces, particularly artillery and maneuver elements, operate with a broader tactical window. On the ground, each front is advancing on a specific axis of pressure. For instance, in the north, our forces conducted combined air artillery ground assaults across Sumy and Kharkiv. Over the week, they broke up concentrations of 5 mechanized brigades, multiple airborne assault and Jaeger formations, and even struck elite GUR units like the Chimera Detachment.
Is this layer warfare?
This is layered warfare. We fix the enemy in place with airstrikes and EW, then overwhelm localized positions with motorized and mechanized infantry, supported by precision artillery. The key is synchronized tempo, never giving the Ukrainian command structure a moment to reset.
Let's talk about Kharkiv more specifically. We saw the liberation of Novaya Krugyakovka and Petrovskoye. What does that signify operationally?
These towns form part of a logistical triangle feeding eastern defensive belts. By liberating them, we choke off arterial supply routes into Kupiansk and central Kharkiv. It wasn't just a matter of holding ground, it was about dismantling layered defense. In this sector, our forces neutralized elements from mechanized brigades, border guards, and National Guard formations. Enemy EW capabilities were targeted heavily. We destroyed over a dozen EW installations in this zone alone. This disrupts their command coherence and their ability to track our UAVs or intercept fire missions.
How about the southern and central fronts? It seems these areas have seen some of the heaviest reported Ukrainian losses.
Yes. In the southern sector, our troops liberated Dialivka, an important stronghold in the Donetsk People's Republic. There, we broke through layered fortifications held by a diverse mix of units, from mountain assault to National Guard and Azov formations. That advance allowed us to compromise Ukrainian defensive geometry around Chasov Yar. Meanwhile, in the central direction, we liberated Novosibirsk after intense multi-day operations. We encountered resistance from no fewer than 20 different brigades, mechanized, airborne, marine, even unmanned systems brigades. Ukrainian forces lost over 3,200 personnel in this sector alone. The scale of this engagement speaks to the strategic value they placed on holding that area and to the sustained capability we bring when applying concentrated offensive pressure.
With that level of force committed, are you concerned about overextension or attritional exhaustion on your end?
We mitigate that by rotating our assault echelons and prioritizing precision over volume. Our doctrine isn't to overwhelm with numbers, but to exploit vulnerabilities through fire superiority, mobility, and command and control resilience. That's why we pair every major ground operation with prior shaping actions, UAV reconnaissance, long-range fires, and cyber-electronic disruption. We strike where the enemy is weakest, not where they expect us.
Let's touch on the East and DNEPR groups. There were several towns reportedly liberated. Can you explain their relevance?
Yes, the East Group advanced and liberated Zaporizhia, Shevchenko, Perabudova, and Yalta. These aren't just villages, they're tactical junctions controlling road networks between Ukrainian rear zones and frontline units. We also hit a regiment of unmanned systems, which is crucial given Ukraine's reliance on UAVs for tactical reconnaissance and strike coordination. In the Dnieper region, our strikes targeted coastal and riverine units. Losses inflicted included dozens of vehicles, EW assets, and an array of depots. This weakens their ability to mount counterattacks along the Dnipro River axis or resupply forward elements in Zaporizhia and Kherson.
And finally, air defense. Reports mention a high number of intercepts. What can you tell us?
Our air defense successfully intercepted over 1,200 Ukrainian UAVs, multiple JDAM glide bombs, HIMARS rockets, and a Neptune missile. This illustrates two things: the scale of ongoing Ukrainian efforts to strike our rear, and the growing effectiveness of our layered AD network. Every interception we achieve preserves the integrity of our supply corridors and rear echelons, and that's vital for sustaining momentum.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics, and thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for the opportunity. Today, Israeli airstrikes in a Gaza market killed 18 Palestinians. There have also been reports of intense airstrikes on mountains in southern Lebanon, with the Israeli military saying they targeted the occupation resistance group Hezbollah. There are reports of ongoing killings and chaos surrounding the distribution of food aid in Gaza. The UN has reported an increase in preventable diseases in Gaza due to the Israeli blockade. Hamas faces challenges to its survival and control, including from IDF-backed street gangs in Gaza. Israel has halted food aid into northern Gaza, with people denying that Hamas is stealing it.
This has been Frontline Updates. Subscribe for daily military briefings and in-depth strategic analysis. Visit our platform for maps, transcripts, and exclusive Frontline updates from commanders in theater.